feet so fat I can't get into my roller skates. And my neck and chest don't fit anymore. Look at this. It's a stick up. It don't work. I do this at a bank robbery, I look like a fool.
Hey, pups, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. How you guys are doing? I am tired. I felt like work got away from me, and then right at the end, I kind of got into a roll. And then before I know it, we got the show to do. So who knows on how long this one will be. But I've got some articles pulled up here. This is the Power Up Podcast, where we talk about pop culture, try to keep ourselves up to date on pop culture news with the hopes of at least bringing that nostalgic feeling back, depending on what topics we talk about, with the reminder of thinking back of the good old days when you could be entertained for entertainment's sake. And that nostalgic flame, I think, is dying, but it's slowly being revived because a lot of DEI garbage is being rooted out of it. But, always want to try to keep ourselves sharp. Sharp. We comment on the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you enjoy the show, you can check out my other social medias in the description. Right now we're on YouTube, Rumble, and X. You can follow me over there to check out past shows and also check out my gaming when I do some game streaming. Let's hop into it, shall we? So we'll be bouncing around all over the place. Niche gamer. So this caught my eye. Valve bans Steam games with forced ads. So I caught a little bit of this, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So let's find out, shall we? Valve has released a new rule for Steam, which bans all games which compel players to watch advertisements. Okay. In particular, these new rules appear to be targeted at potential PC ports of mobile games, which regularly rely on advertisement for monetization. And we've got some bulletins here. Developers should not utilize paid advertisement as a business model in their games, such as requiring players to watch or otherwise engage with advertising in order to play, or gating a gameplay behind advertising. If your game's business model relies on advertising on other platforms, you will need to remove those elements before shipping on Steam. Some options you could consider include switching to a single purchase paid app, or making your game free to play with optional upgrades sold via microtransactions or downloadable content. Developers should not use advertising as a way to provide value to players, such as giving players a reward for watching or engaging with advertising in their game. Developers should not charge other developers for access to Steam features. These include sale pages, bundle store pages, franchise pages, etc. The rules leave room for common sense inclusion of brands and, quote, appropriate product placement, such as racing sponsors and logos on skateboards. It's common for mobile games to utilize the sort of monetization that Valve is banning. Many mobile games offer premium currency, which is allowed as a separate purchase to viewers who willingly watch ads. These games will often showcase ads between loading screens and at other moments without prompting. Both activities are effectively banned for any app published on Steam. Steam appears to be ramping up on their consumer protections. Recently, the company was praised for not warning consumers when an early access title has been seemingly abandoned by its developers. Well, that's all nice and dandy. I still want to own my games. And, unless Steam switches their attitude with, DRMA, unlike, GOG, who you can allow to keep the EXEs and the installers, whatever. Well, wait a minute. Valve banned Steam games with forced ads. But in any case, Interesting, interesting. Honestly, I could care less about either Valve or Steam, but did catch my eye. So wanted to see what this is all about. I understand what they're talking about. Like currently with my mom, we play Words with Friends, and then you have your gold coins where you can use to look up words, or like it'll give you a hint or something like that, and then you can watch like ads to gain more of that if you want to. So yeah, I'm kind of familiar with that. But then it's not like you have to literally just hit watch, set your phone down, go do something else, pick it up, and by that time you could probably skip it, and then you can get whatever it is you want. I saw this on Video Game Chronicle here. Another classic Resident Evil game has been rated for current gen consoles, and that is Resident Evils 5 and 6 have been recently classified by the ESRB. This is for the Xbox Series XS by the Entertainment Software Rating Board, which, in the end, we don't really need. With the focus on co-op action gameplay rather than the franchise's traditional survivor horror elements, they kind of veered off from the horror element long, long ago. But in any case, Resident Evil 5 was originally released for the PS3, 360, and PC in 2009. It was re-released for the PS4 and Xbox One in 2016. 2006 is taking a step backwards. Before making its way to the Switch in 2019. So the game's new ESRB rating will fuel speculation that another remaster is in the works. Last month, the ESRB also classified Resident Evil 6 for Xbox Series XS, suggesting both titles could be coming to current-gen consoles soon. Resident Evil 6 was originally released for 360 and PS3 in 2012. Like Resident Evil 5 and 4, it was ported to Xbox One and PS4 in 2016, with graphical enhancements and all previous add-on DLC included, and to the Switch in 2019. Over the last 6 years, Capcom has re-released full remakes of 2, 3, and 4, and in 2023 it said it was planning to release more series remakes. Publisher confirmed this month that its ending service for Resident Evil Reverse is ending service. That's just it. I thought that's a period, so I read that. My cadence was off. Multiplayer game and all DLC will be pulled from stores on March 3rd and will no longer be playable from June 29th. Okay. I just play the main games. Wait, what? Okami director Kamiya says he doesn't want people playing the Wii version? I have the PS2 version. I was actually planning to play it once we finish up Brothership here. Is this a recent one? Yeah, it was. Okay. Let's read this one. As long as it doesn't spoil anything, because I haven't beaten the game yet. But apparently he doesn't want people to play the Wii version. The creator, Hideki Kamiya, recommends his definitive way to play the first Okami game today. It's originally developed by Clover Studio for the PS2, with Kamiya serving as director. The game was released in 2006, with the Wii version released 2 years later. The Wii port was handled by US studio Ready at Dawn and had players using the Wii remote pointer features for the game's unique celestial brush features instead of the PS2 left analog stick. And then Ready at Dawn staff had previously discussed the challenges in bringing the PS2 version to the Wii. It's claimed the team started with no assets and had to reverse engineer the game, and Kamiya didn't appear to be happy with the results. So a follower recently sent Kamiya a message on X, telling him that he had started playing Okami HD on PC. The follower asked Kamiya if he recommended they play the Wii version instead or continue playing the PC version. And here is his reply. The Wii version is not the original, Kamiya replied. I made the PS2 version. If you're going to play it now, the best version is the HD version. Personally, I don't want you to play the Wii version. Wii version of Okami is also notorious for its box art, which has an IGN watermark on it. What? Are you kidding? Wow. How do you just let that slip by? He's currently leading development on a sequel to Okami under a new studio called Clovers in partnership with Capcom. Kamiya left Platinum Games on October 2023, saying he made the decision after a lot of consideration based on my own beliefs and suggested that he would continue making games. Well, there you go. He's claiming the HD version, but I thought they changed the music of the HD version. To me, get the PS2 version. Emulate that crap, bump that sucker up to, nice graphics, and there you go. Hell, maybe even people have modded it. That was a fun little detour. What do you guys think? Have you guys ever played Okami? I'm going to be starting it up soon, so I'm looking forward to it. I remember playing it back in the day, but then I stopped, which I don't know why. I should have kept going. So hopping on over to that Park Place, we got another Sweet Baby Inc. apparently update. Allegedly, Sweet Baby Inc. is allegedly linked to the secret indie game funding network. Report alleges hidden ties between Landfall Games, Wings Interactive, and SBI. A recent report by Gothic Therapy, YouTube channel hosted by Master of the TDS and Writing Raven, suggests that indie games may be influenced by a network of companies working behind the scenes. According to their investigation, Landfall Games, known for titles like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator and Content Warning, is allegedly connected to Wings Interactive, a funding group that claims to support indie developers from marginalized background. The report also links Sweet Baby Inc., controversial consulting firm, to this network. Dear Lord, I can't talk today. Following report can be seen in the video below, and then a warning that they do that she Gothic Therapy or Writing Raven is a writer for that Park Place. Gothic Therapy alleges that Wings Interactive is not an independent funding group, but rather, quote, a front for Landfall Games. While Wings presents itself as an initiative supporting underrepresented While Wings presents itself as an initiative supporting underrepresented developers, Master of the TDS and Writing Raven claim that it is actually controlled and funded by Landfall. They cite official records showing the Wings operates under the legal name Vingar Interaktiva AB in Sweden, and is registered at the same address as Landfall Games. Oh, that's not just a coincidence. That's a cover-up, Master of the TDS states in the video. They further claim that multiple companies, all linked to Landfall Games, are registered at this address, suggesting a broader business structure hidden from public view. According to their findings, Wings Interactive shares board members with Landfall Games, including Peter Henriksen, and a co-founder of Landfall, who is also listed as Wings Vice CEO. Oh gosh, she, her, he, him. Like, they're all the same. Like, what? Oh my gosh, retarded. Gosh, I'm so happy the pronoun things are slowly dying. Interestingly, the video notes that Henriksen does not publicly list his role at Wings on LinkedIn. Another figure identified is Kristen Lee, who serves on Wings' selection committee and also has ties to Landfall Games. Based on their investigation, Gothic Therapy claims that Wings Interactive functions as a shadow publisher, allowing Landfall to fund and control indie game development without publicly attaching its name to the projects. The host suggests that large companies have historically used similar tactics, creating supposedly independent brands to avoid scrutiny while exerting influence behind the scenes. What a bunch of ass munchers. One of the most intriguing elements of the report is the alleged connection between Wings Interactive and good old Sweet Baby Inc., consulting firm known for advertising major gaming companies on narrative development. I said advertising, but advising, which any advice from Sweet Baby Inc. should be swiftly ignored. Gothic Therapy highlights that Kim Belair, the CEO and co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., previously served on Wings Interactive Selection Board. What a coincidence. Clip shown in the video features Belair confirming this herself. Here's the quote. Been on the advisory board of a few funding bodies, including the Wings Fund, which specializes in grants for women and marginalized people working in games and funding projects that come up to us through there, she said in the clip. Gothic Therapy argues that this clip raises questions about whether Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement in gaming extends beyond narrative consulting and into the funding and selection of indie projects. And then towards the end of their video, Gothic Therapy presents another surprising discovery. According to Master of the TDS, Riot Games contributed $1 million to Wings Interactive in 2021 to support, quote, diverse teams. Gothic Therapy implies that this could indicate broader industry involvement in Wings' operation, though they stop short of making definitive claims about Riot's role. While these findings are based on public records and official documents, Gothic Therapy acknowledges that more investigation is needed to determine the full extent of these connections. As they state at the end of their report, this isn't just a couple of companies working together by coincidence. This is a hidden network controlling indie games from the shadows. At this point, I believe it, because, I mean, everything's becoming undone. So I am not at all surprised. Again, these claims remain allegations, and neither Landfall Games, Wings Interactive, nor Sweet Baby Inc. have responded publicly to Gothic Therapy's findings. However, they've promised to continue their investigation, so the story is far from over. Dun, dun, dun. And there you go. Sweet Baby Inc. detected. Not surprised at all. But hopefully these companies will be dying soon, because if they're getting their fundings from government stuff that wanted to push the DEI, that's cut now thanks to Trump. Thank goodness. So we'll see what happens. The question is, though, is how much of the weeds have infiltrated the industry, and will it collapse the industry like by a huge chunk? At this point, maybe it needs to happen. I mean, I've been saying at least with Ubisoft, it needs to crash and burn. You know, send a message sort of thing. Speaking of video games, Elon Musk calls video game journalism garbage as struggling industry lashes out to defend itself. This comes from That Park Place. So he has summed up perfectly what gamers have known for years about gaming journalisms in a single post on X. And that is, video game journalism is garbage. He said simply that one short statement was enough to send the usual suspects in games media into a full-blown meltdown. Kotaku writer Ethan Gatch tried to downplay Musk's criticism. They ruined my toys is the sophistication level of the animus driving the current reactionary takeover, he said condescendingly. And then someone's like, I know the Kotaku guy ain't talking right now. Unsurprisingly, gamers weren't having it. Gash was relentlessly mocked, with users pointing out the hypocrisy of game journalists who claim to, quote, love the industry while constantly berating its audience. Good old Alyssa Mercante also chimed in with a sarcastic, someone is angry, proving once again that many in the game's press would rather sneer at criticism than engage with it. Dude, oh my gosh, the projection. The projection. She is the least person to talk about what it means to handle criticism. But let's be honest, Musk is right, and the backlash from these so-called journalists only proves his point. The long decline of gaming journalism. Video game journalists weren't always this bad. There was a time when outlets actually focused on, reviewing games, providing guides, and reporting on industry developments without injecting politics into every headline. Then came Gamergate. And there's a Vara video right there. The 2014 movement, which began as a call for ethics in game journalism, was immediately reframed by the mainstream press as a, quote, harassment campaign. Journalists closed ranks, attacking gamers instead of addressing their own industry's corruption. Any dissenting voice was silent, and those questioning the close relationships between gaming outlets and developers were labeled as the big bad bigots. Fast forward to today, and the rot has only deepened. Many of the same journalists who smeared Gamergate are still working in the industry, and their priorities haven't changed. They still prioritize activism over reporting, pushing ideological narratives, while mocking and dismissing their audience. Then the gaming press faced renewed scrutiny with the rise of Gamergate 2, which reignited discussions about bias and corruption. The gaming industry is now filled with, quote, narrative consultants like Sweet Baby Inc., pushing political messaging while journalists cheer them on. Instead of celebrating player choice and innovations, outlets like Kotaku, Polygon, and IGN have become mouthpieces for ideological agendas. Just take a gander at the recent coverage of Black Myth Wukong, where IGN attempted to smear the developers with unverified allegations of sexism. Or the Hogwarts Legacy controversy, where they attempted to bully gamers into boycotting a game simply because they disagree with J.K. Rowling's stance on gender politics. The press is no longer interested in serving gamers. It exists to control them. And now, thanks to the revelations that Political received $8 million in taxpayer money through U.S. aid, and proceeded to reference Gamergate in 22 articles, we have to ask, has government funding influenced media coverage in gaming too? Oh, absolutely. 100% absolutely they have. Like, that's a no-brainer. And this is for both sides too. Oh, absolutely. Because remember, I mean, you have the boomer conservatives who still try to push the whole, video games causes violence sort of thing. So it's not just from one side. Musk's and the gamers versus the legacy media. Musk calling out gaming journalism is a sign that the tide is turning. When one of the most influential figures in tech openly ridicules the gaming press, it sends a clear message. These outlets no longer hold the power they once did. Instead, gamers turn to people like former World of Warcraft lead Mark Kern, that would be Grums on X, YouTube personalities like Stuttering Craig, Smash JT, Endymion, and Vera Dark for their news. The gaming press needs gamers far more than gamers need them, but instead of earning back trust, journalists like Gatch and Mercante continue to double down, lashing out at their audience and mocking legitimate criticism. It's no wonder so many gamers are turning to independent creators who actually respect their audience. Well, with Mercante on them, they're not even gamers. They're terrorists. They're fakes. That's the thing. Like, let's be real here. Like, these people may be attached in one way, shape, and form to gaming, but I'm convinced now that they were never gamers to begin with. Oh, they might have dabbled in gaming here and there, but it was never their passion, really. That's just my opinion. And it usually turns out to be right a lot of times. Not saying my opinion is always correct. What I'm saying is the concept of terrorists and all this stuff in the gaming industry, when you learn that they don't know shit about games for the most part. That's what I'm referring to. Although I will say my opinions are usually pretty good. Musk didn't say anything new. Gamers have been calling out these issues for years. The difference is now the world is paying attention, and the gaming press, well, they're just still angry about it. Well, them gaming presses, they're more than just angry. I'd say that oh, is this not going to play? Rumble Studio. No, I was going to play a clip. Okay, all of a sudden my clips are not playing. What the F, David Blaine? You know, they keep fixing this. Oh my gosh. I wonder what happened. I wonder if I have to like reload. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Let's try it now.
This guy must be a fag.
There we go. There's Norm when I needed him. Okay, yeah. I don't get it. Like, Rumble, like, sometimes signs you out in the background. And, like, when you notice that nothing's, like, your clips aren't playing and stuff, so you have to refresh. It's stupid. I actually need to get on my support email and bitch at them about that, because that's another thing that needs to be fixed. Because that's just, like, how many times do I have to say, remember my settings and all that stuff? Shouldn't have to. So, jumping over to bounding into comics, Team Ninja challenges Ubisoft to a feudal Japanese duel, announces Rise of the Ronin will hit PC just days before Assassin's Creed Shadows. Nice. Just a giant middle finger to Shadows, and I love it. Kitty picks up a kitten. And yet another unfortunate development for Ubisoft's last hope for survival. Team Ninja has confirmed that the PC port of their previously Sony exclusive feudal Japan set, open world samurai game Rise of the Ronin, will officially release just days ahead of the Assassin's Creed Shadows. Whereas Assassin's Creed Shadows is jam-packed with questionable design choice and a lack of historical accuracy, even though they constantly said that this is very historically accurate. And then they changed it to, well, we meant the historical setting, not the characters. It's like, okay. Regarding its historical setting, even though they picked Yasuke, Rise of the Ronin presents a more authentic feudal Japanese era take on the action-adventure formula. Taking place in the mid-1800s, during the last days of Japanese then isolationist foreign policy, Rise of the Ronin sees players make up one half of the so-called Blade Twins, a pair of highly skilled sibling warriors who have dedicated themselves to overthrowing the ruling Tokugawa shogunate after their parents were murdered by the government's hands. Woof. He's got a gun with a bayonet on it. However, after a mission to assassinate the historical Matthew Perry, oh no, from Friends, results in the death of their brother/sister. Oh. Well, I want to play this. I'm assuming this is like in the beginning right away. So I'm going to kind of skip that here. Try not to spoil anything for myself. Surviving Blade dedicate themselves to the Ronin way, going on to become essentially a sword for hire during a period when the country is engulfed in political strife and a new stream of visitors from the West. Doing so, players will not only make their blade available to a number of different factions, but the decisions one's making regarding whether or not to do so to help ultimately affecting of which of the games. So multiple endings. Engages with a stealthy combat system that's reminiscent of older Assassin's Creed games with just a hint of Souls-likes in the form of key gauge and a stagger causing parry/dodge system. Nice. Upon release, Rise of the Ronin received widespread praise for both critics and players, especially in regards to its depiction of mid-18th century Japan, depth of combat, and overall story. And though the game also received its fair share of criticisms, particularly concerning the lackluster and empty feeling of its open-world design, which, in fairness, many titles struggle with nowadays, it's nonetheless a massive success, going on to become the best-selling title ever released by publisher Koei Tecmo. I actually did want to pick this game up as well. The backlog list, it like never ends. So it sounds like Rise of the Ronin kind of knew what to do. The same could not be said of Assassin's Creed Shadows. A coming next entry in the franchise has long since diluted it's everything that made it unique in favor of tired open-world RPG mechanics. It's been mirrored in controversy since the day it was announced, thanks to Ubisoft's disrespect of the game's long-demanded Japanese setting, even putting aside the entire controversy surrounding the game's dual, antagonists or deuteragonists. Yasuke Shadows is a buffet of Japanese history or historical and cultural blunder after another, with news such as watermelons, a summer fruit, being sold at the same time as the bloom of the cherry blossoms. Ah, yes. A spring event. Even after Ubisoft delayed the game to, among other things, supposedly double-check the work with local scholars. But here's the thing that's the problem, is that Yasuke's still in the game. See, that's the main problem, is that you had, according to Endymion, an actual character, Japanese character, a monk, that would have been the main protagonist. But instead, because you guys were jacking off over George Floyd, they instead changed it. And lo and behold, they found a black guy that happened to be during that time period with very little information. And then, the jizz in their pants exploded like a fountain because they could bastardize it in any way. And they went off of Thomas Lockley, making up half the crap about him anyway. And many of people, again, I've read this on past shows that we've had. It's dude, people have gone to the historical records in Japan and they've read it. None of the stuff that they're doing in this game is what Yasuke did. It's ridiculous. Anyway, combine these narrative issues with an overall gameplay system that feels 10 years out of date, and it becomes clear that the fans' apprehension towards Shadows, which is even being felt by more casual players, poses a serious danger to both the game's success and Ubisoft's future existence. Again, I've said this before, and I'm not gonna, they can go ahead and reap the seeds they sow, and I hope that sucker burns and sends a message to the gaming industry, to the other AAA studios, to pull their heads out of their ass and start fucking making good games again. This isn't hard. It should not be this hard. Dude, people are suckers. You can just repackage the same formula. We see Call of Duty do it all the time. But no, they have to do this retarded DEI stuff. And as if Shadows didn't already have enough problems, its chances of success are now under further threat thanks to Team Ninja's recent confirmation of Rise of the Ronin's official PC release date. Maybe I should get that game and then mock Shadows by saying, "Oop, I'm not getting it." That's very bland. It's not like that's clever or anything. So as announced by the developer at the end of January, after just barely under a year of PlayStation 5 exclusivity, the Blade Twins will finally make their leap to Windows operating system on March 11th. Ooh, kind of around my birthday. Exactly 9 days before Shadow's protagonists Yasuke and Naoe are set to start their own sortie. Thus, with Rise of the Ronin so expertly delivering where Shadows looks poised to fail in regards to the promise of a digital samurai experience, there exists a good chance that positive word of mouth could see a significant amount of prospective assassins choosing to ignore a meddling at best mission in favor of actually having fun as a masterless samurai. That all being said, Rise of the Ronin PC release comes with major upgrades, apparently from the PS5 version, 8K resolution, 120 frames per second, ray tracing, and ultra-wide monitor compatibility, as well as fully customizable controls, UI upgrades, improved 3D. See, I don't care really about any of that stuff because, I don't know, to me, I haven't even gone to 4K yet, and I have no intention to anytime soon. I just want to play a game, And in one final slash to Shadow's potential success, PC port will retail $50 Ooh, a full $20 less than the Assassin's Creed Shadows cheapest version. Good job, Rise of the Ronin. Just a giant samurai middle finger to him. I love it. Well, there you go. There's some news about Rise of the Ronin and Assassin's Creed Shadows. All right, we already read that. Oh, I saw this from Bounding into Comics here. Iconic Monroeville Mall featured in George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. It's apparently now owned at Walmart, or by Walmart. In an iconic, or ironic, I guess, twist of fate, Walmart has bought the land on which the Monroeville Mall rests in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, this past Monday. When was this? Oh, wow, this is an old article. February 6th. I'm kind of out of date, but whatever. 56-year-old shopping center is famous for being the site where George Romero filmed his legendary 1978 undead classic, Dawn of the Dead, and it became an essential stop for any horror fan who's making a road trip through the Keystone State. You know, I never really watched any of the zombie George Romero films. Probably, I think I'd enjoy them, but I never went out of my way to. CBL Properties, who owns land and the 186 acres surrounding it, announced last week that they sold the patch of soil for a slight steal at $34 million to an unnamed buyer. And it turns out that the massive retail corporation is the one behind the purchase. Walmart's corporate communications director, Mike Rickel, talked to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette about the recent acquisition. Walmart has been very interested in serving the community. Okay. It's very early in the process. We're very interested in being part of the redevelopment. Still isn't clear if the mall will be preserved or if it will be bulldozed to the ground, but Ricker insists that, quote, it's too early in the process to make that prediction. Oh, if it's corporate greed, you know for sure they're going to bulldoze it down like a bunch of bitches. However, he did happen to point out that there isn't a Walmart location in that area. News comes shortly after Cypress Equities, or Equities, I guess. Not Equities, I don't know. Oh, it's been a long day. Stated that they have been hiring to bring, quote, a new retail and commercial destination and get the highest and best use out of the place. CEO of the Texas-based real estate company, Chris McGuire, also talked to the PPG about the future of the local landmark and an apparent new vision for the mall property. That might be the look for some people who are not looking forward to Walmart owning this iconic mall. Just, oh. Apparently it's Roger succumbing to the outbreak. We're not going to limit ourselves to any outcome, McGuire said in the interview. We're going to study all potential redevelopment opportunities. For the short term, shoppers will not notice a whole lot of change, he added. We'd like to go as quickly as possible. I think it's in all of our best interests to bring the redevelopment to today's standards into what the community deserves. The CEO stated that Cypress is focused on keeping the mall safe, secure, and clean, and, quote, to make sure it's a good environment for people to shop. What about leaving it the way it is? Because it's an iconic, site. Whether the mall remains in some form or fashion, McGuire concluded, it's too early to speculate. Fortunately, the only thing anyone can do right now is speculate. Cypress Equities just broke ground on the new state-of-the-art Class A office tower along the banks of the Mississippi River in New Orleans. That will be the headquarters for Shell's Gulf of America now. Not Gulf of Mexico anymore. It's Gulf of America, baby. Operations. They have built 25 stores in Walmart around America, but they are also known for restoring old establishments and revitalizing the property. Herky Pollock is the president and CEO of Legacy Retail Realty Partners and one of the top retail brokers of that region. And yes, Herky really is his first name. Prediction is that the chances of the mall being replaced by a Walmart is as certain in this life as taxes, death, and undeath. Okay. Walmart has been looking to open a store in Monroeville for over 10 years, he told the PPG in a text. The end result will have both positive and negative ramifications on this trade area for many years to come. Needless to say, this marks an end of an era as we all grew up frequenting the mall. In an age where people are trying to erase the past while simultaneously trying to cling to it, what will happen to the Mall of the Dead is presently anybody's guess. All zombie fans can do is hope for the best case scenario and prepare for the most apocalyptic. Because when there's no more room in hell, even more Walmarts will walk the earth. There you go. Well, that was interesting. Hopping back over to Niche Gamer, I saw this. Apparently, Pokemon is getting a new anime about a postal service Dragonite. The Pokemon Company has announced a new anime series based on their popular franchise, Dragonite and the Mailman. And as its name suggests, it stars Dragonite. But not any Dragonite. He has a hat and a man purse. A satchel, if you will, or a mailbag. I love how I like this picture because think about it. Someone, the people went out of their way to create this gigantic mailbag for this Dragonite so that when he wears it, it looks like how a person would be carrying a mail bag. But if these people were holding it, it would probably take two people to hold it up. And how big are the letters anyway? Anyway. So the new animated series follows a girl named Hana who admires a local Dragonite that serves as a post office worker. So not a person or anything, a Pokemon she admires. I mean, they're cool, don't get me wrong, but it's wow, I wish I was that Dragonite. One day, Hana is given a letter with no address and promptly sets out to find its sender. She runs around the city with her partner, Fuecoco. Is that a Pokemon, or is that this guy right here? And finally discovers the boy Rio, who was trying to mail his father in the distant Kanto region. As his father's birthday is already upon them, it seems like the letter won't reach him in time. Man, if only we had a Pokemon that could fly. A dragon type, if you will. The new Dragonite and the Mailman anime series will premiere on the official Pokemon YouTube channel on February 27th. Oh, so that's actually coming up, which fans worldwide know as National Pokemon Day, or maybe Worldwide Pokemon Day. Really? I mean, I've played my fair share of Pokemon games. I'm even trying to catch up, but I didn't know about February 27th, but I'm not diehard, you know. Evan Call is handling the soundtrack. That would be Freer End, Beyond Journey's End, Violet Evergarden, and the anime's theme song, Kami Hikoiki, which is produced by Yoshika vocalist Suis. Comics Wave Films of Makoto Shinkai fame is producing the anime, and Taku Kimura will direct and handle the storyboards. Kentaro Nana is handling the script writing and series composition, and Asuka Dokai is the character designer. Maho Aoki is designing the characters with animation in mind while also acting as animation director. Tatsuki Watanabe is serving as an art director. I mean, that's cool. If you guys like that sort of stuff, that's really... I think that's cool. I've actually been playing Pokemon Pocket. I just got into that because I still try to collect when I can the Dragon Ball Z collectible card game. But that's an old card game from 2000 score. So while people play it online, I'm antisocial. So I haven't really played with anybody per se. That's cool. I need to look up which Pokemon game I need to continue playing, because what did I finish? X and Y, I think. I have to look back at my my streams. All right, so the big thing that was happening over the weekend, PSN Outage was out for quite a while, and everyone was commenting on it. Data breach, which hasn't Sony been hacked before? You know, you got that. Uh-oh. Got a sneeze coming. Ugh. There we go. My whole thing with the PSN outage is it just goes to show that it's better to own your games when you actually have physical media, because then you don't have to deal with this crap. So Sony experiences PSN outage over the weekend, and apparently this is the reason why, and that is because the company cites operational issues as cause, despite user fears of a data breach. Sure. But not jump the gun. Let's see what that Park Place has to provide for us in this article. When was this article made anyway? February 10th, so yesterday. So Sony's PlayStation Network has finally restored full functionality after an hours-long outage that left millions of players unable to connect over the weekend. The disruption, which began late Friday and lasted through much of Saturday, prevented users from accessing online multiplayer games, purchasing content, and even playing some single-player titles due to digital verification requirements. That's why it's a bunch of garbage. Should just get rid of. Sony Interactive Entertainment confirmed on Sunday that services were back online, offering a brief apology and a small consolation for PlayStation Plus subscribers, an automatic 5-day extension to their membership. However, the company has yet to provide a detailed explanation of what caused the disruption. So network services are fully recovered from operational issues, Sony Interactive Entertainment said Sunday. We apologize for this inconvenience and thank the community for their patience. All PlayStation Plus members will automatically receive an additional 5 days of service. The outage, which affected players worldwide, included in the US, UK, Australia, left many unable to access their game libraries or even launch titles they had previously downloaded. Players looking forward to their usual Friday night gaming sessions were particularly irritated. Luckily for me, I didn't run into that issue. So we got a post right here. We are aware some users might be currently experiencing issues. We are some players or users. And then Friday night is my game night with a couple buddies. Thanks for ruining this. One user posted on X, another vented their frustration over digital ownership, stating, I can't play any offline games I own because my PS5 can't verify I own it. As the outage stretched into Saturday, speculation began running wild. Excuse me, some feared it could be another security breach akin to the infamous 2011. Yeah, I thought they got hacked. PSN hack that compromised over 77 million accounts. That incident, one of the worst cybersecurity disasters in gaming history, saw the network shut down for nearly a month. Oh my gosh. Between April and May 2011, I remember that. Hackers stole personal data, including credit card details, leaving many players wary of trusting Sony's security again. At the time, PlayStation attempted to make amends by offering free games, like Infamous, as part of a welcome back program. However, the damage to consumer trust was significant. While Sony has assured players that the latest 2025 outage was a, quote, operational issue and not a security breach, the length of downtime has once again put a spotlight on the risk of an always online ecosystem. And then GameStop coming in hot, saying, bet you all want physical copies now. But it's funny because it's GameStop because they have no room to talk because they're a piece of garbage too with their circle of life bullshit. So I mean, nothing happened. I responded to GameStop and said, not from you guys. I miss Funkoland. You guys remember Funkoland or Babbage's or EB Games? So these assholes bought them out. Amid the chaos, GameStop couldn't resist taking a jab at digital online players. After the PSN outage had stretched past 14 months, they posted the above thing that we just saw. The cheeky comment sparked debates among gamers about the importance of physical media. It's always going to be the better of the two options because you actually own the damn game. With digital rights management, screw that, preventing players from accessing every single player games when PSN is down, the argument for physical game ownership has never been stronger. While Sony has restored PSN and issued an apology, many players remain frustrated by the lack of transparency regarding the outage's cause. While modern gaming heavily reliant on online connectivity, even for single-player titles, any future downtime could further damage PlayStation's reputation. And then that Park Place asks, do you get physical copies of your game? I do, or I try to get it to where I back it up. Did the PSN outage affect you this weekend? Nope. I've been slowly trying to transition over to GOG because they actually allow you to download offline installers and be DRM free. Unlike Steam and all these other companies that want you to... This was a perfect example of why physical media is not only necessary, but we need to go back to it. And a lot of it's like, well, now video games cost so much to make. Well, it's simple. You don't need DEI. You fire the retarded consulting firms. You don't need a motion cap everything. Everything doesn't need to be a glorified walking simulator. Like, so many areas that you could cut to justify bringing back like physical media. Well, that's kind of anticlimactic in terms of being told what the reason was, except for a very vague operational, what'd they say? An operation. See, it didn't stick with me because it was such garbage that I didn't believe it. Operational issue. There you go. Well, that's all I have for today, folks. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And as we're ending the stream here, let's see what games were released today. And we might as well see what's going to happen tomorrow, too. Oh, here you go. Dragon Quest IV was released 35 years ago in Japan, 1990. There's a game called Excalibur 2097. Never heard of it. The game stuck out to me. Xenogears. I need to play Xenogears. Got your Final Fantasy, what is that? 8? Dracula, The Last Sanctuary, I guess if you like Dracula. Yeah, these are two games I do need to play, though, for sure. Maybe Dragon's Quest. Star Wars Racer's Revenge. Hey, I had this game, Maximo Ghost to Glory. That was a hard game, but I beat it. That was a really good game. There's another one, but I think I kind of had my share of Maximo. Oh, WWE Raw. Nothing will ever beat the old like WCW NWO Revenge for like the Nintendo 64. Those were the best games. Ooh, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Great series, the Mario and Luigi series. I'm currently playing Brothership. Awesome game. I don't like the people who are kind of getting on it for some weird reason don't know what they're talking about. Oh, Little Nightmares 2. There you go. Apparently there's a new Area 51 game. Pokemon Home. All right, this was a good list. I think this was a rather solid list. Let's check tomorrow since I'll be gaming tomorrow. What do we got? Oh, dude, the best game of all time. One of the best games of all time. Depends on who you ask. I definitely for the Nintendo. Super Mario Brothers 3. Yep. Oh, you got Wing Commander. NBA Hoops. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters. State of Emergency? What is that one? Join the resistance to liberate your people from the oppressive corporation. Okay. Oh, Lost Odyssey. Another game I need to play. You also have your Wii Play. Wait, there's a Samurai Deeper Kyo game? I remember reading that, and then I stopped reading it. Wonder if it's actually good. Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 for PC. Oh, Jump Force. I remember Jump Force. Everyone was hyped about it, and it just bombed. Dang. That was a good list, too. All right. Let's broaden it, shall we, and go over to Moby Games, where we get more of a worldwide sort of thing. What else do we got? Heroes of the Three Kingdoms 2. EverQuest Online Adventures for the PlayStation 2. For the United States. That's cool. Samurai Warriors in Japan. I just read aloud like what games I know for sure and like titles that stick out to me. I think we've kind of got the good ones over at GameFAQs. Yeah, we're now in like 2016. So apparently the Resident Evil 2 Collector's Edition for United Kingdom and Ireland for the Xbox One. There you go. Good job, Ireland. Ooh, in Poland, the Yakuza Remaster Collection. Another series I'd like to take a stab at. Jump on over to tomorrow. Oh, X-Men, the arcade game. Ooh, I love that game. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm ranked number 1 in speedrun in that game. I used I think I actually used Storm. I'd used Colossus before and lowered my score, and then I lowered it again with Storm. A great game. Whenever I'm in an arcade mood and I stream arcade games, I always play X-Men. Great game. That was one of those games that I remember like for nostalgic reasons. One, because I had the VHS of the pilot that eventually became X-Men, the animated series. It was called Pride of the X-Men. And that's what the arcade version of that one is based on. But also my old Walmart had it. And I remember one of my dad's students, he was a teacher, like former students. When they had to go run errands, I just watched him play X-Men, and I watched him beat the whole arcade with like a couple quarters. It was insane. I still haven't done that yet with 1 quarter. I get close, but then those stupid statues at the end kick my ass. We'll try to get there. Far Cry The Wild Expedition for the 360 version for Germany. Yeah, I think that's all we had. We had a good list today and tomorrow, too. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, we were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Feel free to follow me over there. Hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. We'll be gaming tomorrow, slowly winding down on Brothership, and then we'll start up a new game. And like I said, I think I'll probably start Okami. So we'll try to do that as well. And just trying to grow. Appreciate the help of everybody helping me grow. And let's see. Anybody? With that, yeah. I think we'll go ahead and call it for tonight. Again, thanks for everyone for hanging out. You guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.